I am live. Happy Friday, everybody. Isaiah Colton here with Isaiah Colton and Company and another live stream of your daily dose of sales and marketing. And today I have a really important topic to you. I want to talk to you about your belief system and how it's crushing your business. Well, not all of you, but for a lot of you, your belief system is crushing your business. You see, when you look at the core areas of our business and what we need to do to grow it, at each core area of our business, we have a certain belief system or a certain way that we approach things. And if that belief system is not in line with the best practices on how to grow your business, you are going to struggle. How do I know? Because this is what happened to me. You see, when I first started my very first business out of college, I was really excited about the prospect of making money and having financial freedom. That's really why I did it. And just out of curiosity, drop in the chat below what the reason why you decided to either become an independent contractor or start your own business, aka get into real estate. But why did you start your own business? Drop in the comments kind of while I'm talking. So I started my own business because I wanted to figure out a way to have financial freedom and kind of do what I want when I want, and that's why I did it. The reality was, though, is I did not know, I had no idea what it took to actually build a successful business. And yes, having the knowledge and the skill and the expertise of whatever you're trying to do is super important. But what I would submit to you that what comes even before that is your belief systems, the belief systems you have in place of what it actually takes to grow a successful business. And that's what I'm going to cover here today. I'm going to share with you kind of my journey on how I came up with the sales acceleration blueprint. Because what happened with me is I started diving into business. I was at the time, in a telecom company, building a business out of my college dorm, and I was just going 100 miles an hour, right? I wanted to be number one. That was my main goal. And there's nothing wrong with that. You got to be hungry, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. But what I did not realize is that when I would go to make sales calls, how I thought in my mindset of how I approached that call was just as important as anything else. When I would go to look at my lead generation process, my mindset and my belief systems of how I approached that was more important than anything else. When I would do different things like how I would manage my leads, my mindset of how I should be manage my leads, my belief systems around managing my leads, and so on and so forth. And it wasn't until I was beating my head against the wall where I felt stuck, where I had a level of success that I first realized that my belief systems were actually holding me back. It wasn't necessarily the next greatest lead generation company. It wasn't not necessarily the next greatest technology, even though those things matter, right? But what it was is I wasn't able to put the systems together and the process together because of my belief system. And so I'd submit to you that if you look at what I've developed with the sales acceleration blueprint, it factors in all of the key areas of focus that you need to have to grow your business. I'm going to show you those in a second. But within each one of these areas, you have a limiting belief that is holding you back. And unless you can figure out what those limiting beliefs are and overcome them, you're going to continue to struggle with that area of your business. And this happens at every phase of growth for business. Now, the exciting part is that once you figure out how to overcome that struggle, or you adopt the right approach, the right mindset, and you get the systems in place, starting with your mindset and then the people, process, and tools within that area, you'll see a massive growth. You'll see a breakthrough. And with that breakthrough will come more transactions, more closings, more commissions, and attracting more agents, so on and so forth. But I want you to hyper focus on your belief systems. And here's an example of why. So in the sales acceleration blueprint, what I did, just so you know how I came up with this blueprint, if you're wondering, is I interviewed 100 of the most elite real estate entrepreneurs on the planet. Many of them in the Wall Street Journal top 250, many of them which I was coaching and consulting or doing some sort of services for with one of my businesses. And it was interesting because I kept seeing a reoccurring pattern happening. And they kept bringing up the same things like over and over and over again. And I want you to write this down, put this in the comments. Success always leaves clues, right? Tony Robbins, I believe, is famous for saying that. But success always leaves clues. So I was looking for these clues. I was looking and writing and journaling and blogging after each one of my podcasts about what these clues were, what why they were so successful over somebody else. And it was then that I came up and established the sales acceleration blueprint. It came down to seven different things is kind of what it came down to. And I'm going to show you what those 7 things are right here. Okay. So the first thing when it comes to our belief systems is at the center of it all. It's what you see here. If you don't have a belief system in place that says to you and convicts you that your database is your most precious asset, then you are never going to manage your database the way that you need to build and scale your business properly. And you're going to forever be wondering why your business is not growing as fast as you want it to. Because there's a best practices to how to manage your database, but it starts before that. It's the belief system, because if you have the revelation, you have the breakthrough that, wow, the data is so important. And because it's so important, I need to do a better job managing. I have to do whatever it takes to manage my lists the right way and to break them up in the ABC categories. And then the tactical becomes easier because any obstacle you drive through or any obstacle you encounter, you're going to drive through it because you are convicted. You have the belief, and that conviction will drive you through. Drop in the comments if this makes sense to you. If you're watching this video, if what I'm saying is maybe convicting you a little bit, but more importantly, it makes logical sense to you that if you're not convicted about what you're doing, you're not going to actually do it, right? So that's really important, right? So next is your lead generation. Okay. If you look at lead generation that like all lead sources are bad, right? Or whatever it may be. I got some really good comments. I'm gonna address some of these comments as we're going. So leave comments, thoughts, concerns, whatever you have going on, leave those because I'm gonna address them before I log off here. But there's a huge misconception about lead generation. There's a massive problem in our industry with the belief system behind lead generation. I'm going to sum it up for you. Most of you have not been properly taught or convicted about what lead generation is and what it isn't. Lead generation is not a group of people that are opting in online that just want to do business with you. They're people, most of them, that don't know you, they don't like you yet, and they don't trust you yet. But they've opted into a system saying that they're interested in potentially finding out more about buying or selling a home. And I love what Barry Jenkins, if he's listening or watching this, what he said in his other live video is that that's where the work begins, right? So that's the first part. The lead generation is the easier part, folks. Once you find out how to generate the leads, that's the easier part. And then it comes to and so we have to have the belief system in place. Again, notice how it goes back to belief systems. That once we understand that, then we're not gonna be like, oh, these leads suck. No, we're gonna be like, you know what? These leads just have to be nurtured, and it's my responsibility to develop a relationship with them. And that goes to the next part of the blueprint, lead follow-up. Because if I don't if I'm not 100% convicted that my follow-up is going to lead to more cash and more conversions and more closings and better relationships, then I'm not going to do it, right? I'm going to struggle to do it. If I don't truly understand the importance and the power of follow-up and the data behind it, and the data is clear, folks. The data is so clear in our industry, okay? Minimally, most of these people are 3 or 6 months out. Follow-up is important. The fortune's in the follow-up. All these sayings, right? 8 to 12 touches, stay in touch long-term. All the things that we all hear, but yet we're not doing because we're not convicted. It's not part of our belief systems, okay? I'm going to do a part 2 about this because I'm not going to make it all around the wheel, so to speak, here of the sales acceleration blueprint. But it's the same thing with social media and video marketing. You have limiting beliefs. Some of you struggle with video. Some of you struggle with doing social media because there's these limiting beliefs that you have of how important it is or what people are going to think of you or whatever. And believe me, we all fight them. If anybody that's been successful has fought through in some way, shape, or form some of these limiting beliefs or still fighting through it on a daily basis. And here's a big one, folks. I'm going to leave it here. But you need to own your lead conversion. You need to own your skills, your skill set to be able to get your system set up, plug into a process of time management, and get good at having conversations and influencing people to do business with you. You have to own that. And we have to make sure we're not blaming all these other people because we're not getting the results we want, because we're not doing our job. We're not following up. We're not getting good. We're not having the right conversation. And part of this belief system, you have to be honest with yourself when you're signing up to things. When you're doing things, be honest with yourself does this fit my personality traits? Does this fit what I'm willing to adopt, right? Because if the values are not in line with whatever you're doing, it's not going to work out. And I just dealt with an issue with one of the agents that I work with. We have different belief systems. Their belief system is they should never have to pick up the phone or make an outbound call. They just refuse to do it. And no matter what you do, it's very hard to be successful if you're not doing that. Now, it doesn't mean you can't be successful. You have to have a different approach. And their blueprint has to look a little bit different. And that's why it's also so important to make sure that the people that you're doing business with have the same belief systems as you, or else there's always going to be conflict. So belief systems will make or break your business. Okay. Drop in the comments below what you got most out of this session. I'm going to address some of the things here. So I had somebody say my daughter got me into business. She married a guy that was building homes, and his dad, she said, why don't we get a real estate license? 2006, 2008, it happened. So I only did real estate part-time until about 7 years ago. And then I was getting very busy. So I decided to make a decision, and I did. And I'm so happy because I'm doing pretty good, and I can do a lot better with your help. Thanks for all the systems you've created and helped us implement. Oh man, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate your feedback on that so much. Today was a day that I needed to hear that because I was dealing with a situation last night that was so frustrating. It wasn't even funny. So I really appreciate your feedback so much. Even successful people, by the way, still need positive feedback. Right. So we got some really good stuff here. I don't have time to go through the other comments, but you guys are awesome. I'm going to close out today with this. Your belief systems matter. They will make or break your business. And learn to break through your limiting beliefs. I'm going to show you how to do that more tomorrow when I go live. Until then, Isaiah Colton and Company with another daily dose of sales and marketing. And if you're looking to get plugged into an awesome system where you have great training and coaching, you have great people, you have great process and awesome technology, feel free to give Run 360 a free trial for 14 days. Peace. Have an awesome rest of your day.